Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today it's Dawn and Julia Create, woohoo! And as usual, I'm doing things last minute. Dawn will have filmed this about a month ago and this is due up at 4 o'clock today. So I'm filming today, but actually I've had a good night's sleep. I'm feeling a lot better. It's kind of dragging my heels for a little while, so yeah. So as you may see from the goodies on my table, Dawn has asked us to alter a notebook. I've actually gone for one similar size to this, just because I don't want to piece the paper. So I thought I'd maybe do that and a little mini one to match, and maybe we could bundle it together as a sort of a gift. So the brief is to alter a notepad with this paper pad. So Dawn kindly gifted this to me. I tried to get it on the works and I couldn't get hold of it, but Dawn managed to, and so she gifted that to me. So we've got that. 2 distress inks. I've gone for distress oxides, and I've actually gone for brighter colours than the paper pad is, just so that I could lift it a little bit. We're allowed Tim Holtz stickers, and we've to create a feature image on the paper pad, but it's to be hand drawn. So that is the brief for today. So I am thinking, I was flicking through, I thought I like this. This is nice and bright. And actually I quite like this text. So let's start with that. So I'm thinking, first of all, I'm going to create my spine. So I will just get this roughly the right size. So I will do that, and I'm just going to grab a pen and do that. And then let's chop that down. So I'm just creating this top part here, and I have the laziest method in the world because I hate measuring. Hate measuring with a passion and can never get it to work. And I always find, even when I do this and I try and measure, that it never works right, it never folds right. Right. Glue issues again. So I've finally got the glue going. Glue going. No, glue going. Word whiskers. Word whiskers. I've had sleep, so I feel a bit hyper. This is on the back of, we had the Hichanda show on Tuesday, which was mental. For anyone that ordered, thank you so much. But we sold out of the initial stock in 13 minutes. And then I had buyers and things on the phone trying to get more stock out, and at this point I was bubbling. I was so overwhelmed at the fact that everybody was liking it so much that I'm busy crying. Then I'm trying to pull myself together to get the stock sorted, and then that sold out and they were back on the phone again, and oh, it was absolutely mental. And then I think I was just, the adrenaline, I was just wired and couldn't sleep properly. And I was awake at 3 o'clock, so I thought, oh well, I may as well start on the orders. So I started packing the orders at 3 in the morning, finished at 3 in the afternoon. This is the thing with being a one-man band, you just have to do all of these things yourself. So I've kind of gone round a bit like, you know, just a bit of a zombie almost, like I've had so little sleep. And then I've had a really good night's sleep last night. Went to bed at a reasonable hour, slept all the way through till 7, so now I'm like, woohoo! I've got all this energy, so I'm feeling a bit hyper. Anyway, so what I tend to do with my notepads, as you see, is I sort of like score as I go. I tend to find that if I try and measure that and score that, I never get it right, and the flexibility is never right. So I do just tend to find that if I sort of stick a bit down, score it, fold it, stick it, score it, fold it, that is the easiest way for me to get that down. So I've just done that so to create a pretty spine, and then we can stick this here, I think, like so. So, talking of exciting things, Dawn and I have been chatting. It's always very exciting when Dawn and I chat. It also always takes a good couple of hours. We message each other and go, oh, can I, just a quick question, and then we end up on the phone for like an hour and 20 minutes, at least. So, after the last one, the last Dawn and Julia Create, it started off that I had said that I absolutely thought Dawn had won because, you know, we were doing the cards in 15 minutes. 3 cards in 15 minutes. And I like agreed, yep, I think Dawn won that one because like she had finished with time to spare. But then when I watched the video, I noticed that she stuck some stuff on hers after the timer. So, I mean, I'm not saying that she lost, but I am saying that I think we should at least call it even. So, we were joking, and I was saying that we should put it to a public vote, and whoever wins has to do a challenge. And believe me, I have got a corker of a challenge, which would be absolutely hilarious if we were to do that. But anyway, in amongst all of that nonsense, and as winding each other up, as we like to do, I'm actually seeing that now and thinking, I wonder if I should have another strip. Decisions. I think so. I think I like. Do we like? Yeah, so in amongst all of this, Dawn was saying, oh, do you realise that Dawn and Julia Create has been going for a year? So last month was a year. And we both absolutely loved this challenge. And when we started out, it was something for the two of us. Because we both realised that we had the same stuff and the same taste. We've got the really same taste when it comes to crafting products, but really quite different styles when it comes to actually crafting, which I think is what makes the challenge really interesting. But it's turned out that you guys like it too. For both of us, it's our most popular videos on our channel. So we were thinking, seeing as we love it so much, and seeing as you love it so much, why not do it more often? So we are now going to move to a fortnightly challenge, and we're going to move away from the Fridays. So this is the last time it'll be the second Friday of the month, but you won't have to wait as long for the next challenge. We are now going to do it every second and fourth Saturday in the month. So we're going to be doing it twice as much. So second and fourth Saturday at 6 o'clock, I believe that we decided. If I'm wrong with that, then I will come back and let you know. So we're going to do it like that, and yeah. So hopefully that will be a nice and exciting for you. The reason that we've chosen a Saturday is I quite often do launches on a Friday and things, so we just didn't want it to be, it's such a fun challenge, we didn't really want it to be lost in amongst all of that. So yep, you get even more of the madness of Dawn and Julia Create. Now the thing is with Dawn is she has filmed this one, filmed the next one, most likely filmed the one after that, and I'm still on this one, so I've got a little bit of catching up to do. But yeah, so we hope that you will all be delighted with that change, and we will see. We'll see what happens with it. We're really excited. We can't believe we've done a year. So we were thinking that what we might do is just each year sort of review how it's going, see what we can do to upgrade and improve it a little bit. Yeah, and just see. So that's us. So I was going to do a matching one. Do I have the... We could do it the opposite way, I suppose. Yeah, I could do it the opposite way. Let's do that. Right, so first of all, I will need to grab a pen and just, we'll chop that down. So, glue on the back, so I can actually re-show you what I was doing earlier. Glue on the back, and then we stick that down. Then I grab my bone folder and create a little score line. So I'm just going in next to the edge of the book and creating the score line. Once I've done that, I fold over and add a little bit of glue to the top of the spine there. I'm thinking this gets me extra points because I've done 2. What do we think? What do we think? Do we reckon we should get Dawn to do a naughty? I'm saying this now because I'm now part of admin on a Facebook group called Crafting Together with All Brands. And if we're naughty during our lives, so it's like we have lots of lives from lots of different craft brands, but the admin team do regular lives, and if we're a bit naughty in our lives, we get given a naughty challenge for the next for the next live, which is quite funny. So I had a naughty challenge. I had to use twigs. But it wasn't too bad, because strangely enough I actually have twigs. I'm just needing to hold that down as part of my crafting supplies. So yeah, that was quite good. And then we'll put this one down here. And we've got a little matching set. So they're sort of like the same but different. I was going to do a A5 notepad, but then I just thought this would look neater sticking to the smaller one, but then I felt like I was cheating a little bit, so I thought if I did two, then I might get away with it. I don't know what size Dawn's gone for actually. We'll have to wait and see. And I've just realised I've put all of this down and I've edged it all up, and I've not used any of my distress inks yet, so we'll see. I might just add some randomly to the paper, or I might just use it as embellishments. I think this actually might be a fairly quick and easy make, which is just as well, seeing as you know, I'm doing it to the wire as usual. What have we got here? Put that one there. So we're kind of matching. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, this is one that I could maybe put a bit of distress ink on, because I'm not overly feeling the piece of paper. I'm thinking it's just a bit nothing. I've got a bit of scrap here that's already got watercolour on it, so let's add a bit of colour to this, give it a bit of contrast. It might make me feel a bit better about it. Then I've used my distress inks as well. So add a little bit of colour. Yeah, that's a bit better. I'm liking that a bit more now, so do my edging as I do, and then I'll work out what I'm going to do next. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut some strips of the paper and create some like little sort of banner, arrow sort of things just there, and then we will do a drawn element and add it to that. I think that's maybe the direction that we will go in. So I'll leave that. Or should I create a pocket? Now there's an idea. I could possibly create a pocket or a belly band or something, and then we could tuck some goodies into it. What do I think? Right, what I will do is pull out some papers and have a play with the idea, and we can see what we think. So those are the two bases so far. What other papers do we have in here? So I could pull out that green one again, because I'm just wondering whether we should create some sort of pocket. Let's see, what else have we got? What else do we have? Quite like that one. Quite like this one. Oh, it's the same one. Oh dear. Just pulling random ones out now. Yeah. This is pretty. Oops. Right, let's do a drawn element. So what I'm going to do is just grab a pen, and I'm going to go for a sort of very random, strange, flowery thing, I think. Like so. random as I wanted it to be. I need to add some more quirkiness to it, I think. What do we think? That is, yeah, good work. Okay, I'm going to go with that for this big one. So I've drawn it on this side, that's not actually the side I'm going to use. I am going to put it on this side here. So I'm going to cut round my sketch. I think I did this with the art journal as well that I had. So I'm doing some fussy cutting now, using my little Fiskar scissors. And again, I start cutting from the back of my blade, and I use the paper. I move the paper, not my scissors. So that is quite good. Right, let's have a little look. And I think what I may do as well is we will add some random spots and circles out of the same paper. So we have that like that. Okay, so now I want to make this look like a flower again, so we will add the details back in. Now the advantage of doing it this way is I was able to play with the shape first. I'm still going to go for that sketchy look. I was able to play with the shape first to make sure I like it, make mistakes. So I'm going to go for a sketchy look, and then I'm just going to add some little squiggles. And then we have some petals, so let's get those in. Like so. And then again, I'm just going to add those little squiggles. They tend to hide an absolute multitude of sins. So then we had the bit that went like that. And then we'll bring that up. So I'm deliberately making the pen work really, really rough, because I think that's going to add to that a little bit. And it just adds to the sketchy look. It's one of the best ways of sort of creating and drawing and stuff without having to worry about what it looks like. I think when you start to, I mean, I get really nervous about adding a hand-drawn element, which seems daft because you kind of think, oh, she can draw. Yeah, I don't actually spend it, I'm not a confident drawer. I tend to draw on pencil a lot and do a lot of rubbing out before I am happy. So sort of like directly drawing onto work is not the thing that comes the most natural. So then the other thing I was thinking that I would do now is let's cut out some random circles. So we'll do 3. And again, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to cut these out. Yeah, I've got a rough guide by the pencil line, and they're not going to be accurate circles, but I'm going to do lots of scribbling around them. So I always think little dots tend to hide a multitude of sins. And I don't think I will go for the pocket idea actually. I think I'm just going to chop some of the papers down and create some banners. And we've got a third dot somewhere. And I've kept this. I could have possibly die cut it, but die cuts weren't on the list, so I'm sticking with what's on the list, so that, you know, Dawn doesn't put me on the naughty step. I've got quite comfortable on the naughty step now, though, to be honest. I sit there with a wee cocktail and there we go. So I'm happy with that. I think we'll add a little bit of colour, so I'm just going to grab my new blending mat. She says. I'm looking for clean water and I can't seem to find any, so I've got myself a little blending mat from the lovely ladies at Be Crafty. I can't seem to find any clean water, so I've got quite dirty water here, but never mind, it will go with the vintage look. And I'm just going to activate this and we can get a little bit of colour. I'm not wanting a lot, but just a little bit of colour into some of these areas, just to emphasise it a little bit, and to, yeah, just to make the picture pop just that little bit more. So I'm going for, I've kind of roughly shaded the whole thing, and then I'm adding a little bit of extra colour just down this side. And I'm thinking if we do this, it's just going to add a little bit more interest to it. So I'm going for quite light colours there. So I'm only allowed 2 distress inks, so I've got the peacock feathers and the picked raspberry. So I'm not sure that purple, because that's the colour I would get if I mixed them together, I'm not sure that purple would be the best choice, considering the rest of the notepad. So I'm just not going to bother with that, blending it. I maybe should have gone for a yellow as my second colour. Mind you, I've not actually used the blue yet, but I think I will now. Sorry, I am just havering. I'm havering. Right. Let's get this one activated and we'll do the stop in that. Oh, I like it. Yes, that sort of matches the colour tones that we've got. I might actually just put a little bit in some of the edging parts here. So I've not blended it, but we've got the 2 colours in there, just to make it a tad more interesting. There we go. Yes, I like it. I'm happy. Now, what I would like is my black pen, and not my black pen, my white pen, but that's not on the list. I've just reread the note from Dawn, and she did say we could have gesso, so that could be a workaround. So let's try that. It's soft and pretty, I like that, and then that sits nicely on there. So let's grab these little dots that we've created as well and add a bit of colour to those. Just clean my brush off a little minute. So I'm just going to add a bit of colour just so that they pop off the page with the background. So I think I'll do two pink because they're against a green background. So, and then let's have one blue. So, okay, right, and then I will grab some gesso because I've just realised that Dawn had said we could have gesso, so that's going to get me my highlights. So I'm just going to open this and get a little bit of this. Let's dry that bit. There we go. I don't need a lot. And the other thing that's nice about gesso is obviously it's chalk based, and that's what a gesso is. You're adding a chalk layer to it, and obviously the oxides have that chalk effect, so it's going to work really well together. Let's just water that down, and now we can add some little highlights to this as well. So this is, in fact I don't have my white pen, it's not quite as fine, probably could be if I was better with the paintbrush, but that's fine. It's just, I'm creating a look. So now I'm just adding little highlights in, like so. That's just, yeah, it's adding an extra tone, and I know that's something I really like to do with my work, no matter what I'm doing. It's like I've not thought about light source here, it's not a very detailed coloured piece for me, but still having that shadow, mid-tone and highlight makes such a difference to your work. So that's my little quirky flower there. Now I am thinking that we should have some strips of paper, so I'm just going to cut this into strips and then let's colour it up a bit with the colours that we've been using. So I've got my strips and I'm just going to add some pinky tones onto this one. So I'm just going to swirl that pink in, and then let's get a bit of white in there so that we've got a similar look to the flower that we've created. Okay, so that's one, and then we'll do one with the blue as well, and then we'll mount it all together and see what we've got, how things are feeling. Actually, I'm going to put a bit of pink into this one as well, get a bit more on my mat. Two colours similar to how we have in that flower, so I might use it, I might not, but it's there if required. Okay, so I'll just clear my mat away and we'll see how we go next. I'm going to grab my quirky flower that I have created and stick that down. First. Now I like to keep my notepads quite flat. I like them to look really pretty and decorated, but I don't tend to overly embellish them because I actually do use them as notepads. And if you ever try and write on something that's really highly embellished, it's most difficult and it just ends up annoying me. And then I have this gorgeous pretty notepad that I end up just not wanting to use. So I've kind of stopped doing that, like really highly embellishing my notepads, like I do, but I just try and keep it flat. But that's like my personal preference. I'm just going to turn this into a little banner. I'm nicking Dawn's trick. She snips up the middle first and then takes that either side. So I'm going to put this one down. Let's get a bit of a black edge to that because it's me. And, you know, I couldn't live, I can't create without that black line. Right, there we go. Just done that one. And then another one there, that looks quite nice. So again, a snip, a little banner. So hands up who is excited that Dawn and I are moving to once a fortnight instead of once a month. Are you happy with that move? We're going to have a new fancy thumbnail and everything, which I still have to make. Poor Dawn's probably got her video schedules without a thumbnail because I've not done it yet. But my list of to-do jobs is getting there. It was a bit manic last week, to be honest. There was just so much to do that it just was a little bit overwhelming. But that's normally the same when it ends up to build up to the Chanda shows. It's normally a bit crazy. So there's a bit of breathing space now. Actually, I quite like that, but now I need to chop this bit of my stalk off. Or get another scrap of paper that's different. What have we got? Yeah, if I use, let's take a piece of this, and then that matches the bit at the top as well. We're not going to have it straight there, but who cares? Yeah, that'll work. That'll work, that'll do it. I might just edge it slightly with the pink Distress ink just to tie it in just that tiny bit better with the rest of the project. I'm actually really liking this. I'm liking the kind of the soft vintage look with this sort of slight mad pop of colour, and it's not too mad, it's not too in your face that it jars, but it has just lifted it a little bit. I tend to like my bright colours as opposed to my dark ones, I think. You've probably noticed that already about me. Right, so let's get all of that down there like so. And then we've got our little bubbles to add. So I'm just going to flip that over and chop off the excess so that we have it all nice and neat. And then of course that is now going to need its black edging. That just needs slid down ever so slightly. There we go. And then we will replace the black edging. Okay. And then I've got my little bubbles, which I will just bring now. So we do something like that. That works quite nicely. So I am going to just draw the random circle and then just add the sort of squiggly lines just to emphasize it a little bit. So I've not done tough technical drawing. I can't wait to see what Dawn's drawn. Yeah, Dawn started doing a few more bits and pieces of drawing. She's been sharing little drawings with me. And she's good. She's very good, so I'm very, very excited to see what she will actually have done. Right, now I just need to marry all of the elements. I'm liking it, but I'm just thinking it's all jarring a little bit. It's not jarring, but it's needing connected. It feels like 2 or 3 separate elements at the minute rather than one cohesive look. So I'm just going to fix that now with the magic of doodling. So I think it's hot off the press. They used to have a lot of, I want a thicker paint. That was my Arteza one gone. Do like this Arteza pen. It's definitely become my new favourite. Right, yeah. Hot off the press was a craft brand, and they always had these papers that were in different segments. Like so, it would be one paper, and then 2/3 down the page there'd be a different paper, and then they had this sort of stitching detail that joined it. And then I actually bought their stitching stamps to be able to do that. And you can do it really, really easily. So I'm just drawing some zigzag lines at this side, like so, and it doesn't matter if they're not even because we're just going to say it's hand stitched. Now that works, so that's us created the different zigzag effect there. But if we want it to look properly stitched, if we just then go in and draw a little dot at each point, so if you're to either hand stitch or to machine stitch, you would end up with a slightly thicker point at those parts there. And then that's what makes it look actually stitched. So for me, adding that extra detail does make a difference. So I'm going to do that, like so. Adding that little dot. And there we go. Now it looks like we've stitched a lot along there. And we've tied those two pieces together. So I'm going to be doing lots of this stitching effect on this. Now I'm going to do the same again on the bottom part. So I'm going to do my zigzag all the way along. And as I said, it doesn't really matter if you go squint, because, well, unless you're doing it machine, and even on a machine sometimes getting it particularly even, it depends on your speed and your fabric. It doesn't always lie overly flat. I mean, you'd get called up for it in the Great British Sewing Bee. Who's been watching that? Does anyone here like their sewing as well as their paper crafts? I'm sort of one of these, I think, like jack of all, master of none. I just like to play and be creative, so I've tried most things. I did actually start sewing. My grandmother was a tailoress, and my great grandmother actually she used to have a toy shop, and all her teddies were handmade. They had loads of teddies as children, because like we always get a brand new teddy every time we went to visit, and it had been handmade by my great gran. And of course my mum could sew. I actually worked in a fabric shop for a while. We made wedding dresses. So yeah, I do like anything with a sewing theme, because for me that's kind of where my crafty journey started. So again, I'm doing a stitching effect, but I've chosen a different one for the sides, and all of this just helps to bring the eye in and frame the work a little bit. And I think it's all these sort of added elements that just lift your project. So I'm going to add that sort of running stitch around the edge, and again it's something else to frame it. We have framed it with the black line, but we've just created a further element to frame that. So I'm going to go along the top there as well. And I like this because all the paper pieces start to sort of, they make sense now because they've been joined together. It's like there's a reason for them. Right, I'm going to do some cross stitch effect. I'm sticking with this sort of stitching patchwork theme. So again, I'm doing crosses and then just adding little dots. So I think I will do, so I've got 2 rule of thirds, so I'll put another one up here, like so. Right, so I think the next thing to do is to grab some sentiments. Okay, so we've got noteworthy, which, you know, seems appropriate. So noteworthy. And we have note to self, which is also very appropriate. And what about documented? All of those seem very appropriate sentiments for a little notepad. So we'll put that there. Now that white is quite stark, which is good, but it's very different to the rest of the piece. So it means it pops out the page, which I like, but now it needs it tied together, and we will do that with our gesso and of course some white splashes. So let's just pull this back in now, and I will grab some more of this gesso and some water. Oops, now you can see how filthy my water is. I'm going to have grey splashes. That's alright. It really is filthy water, and the trouble is, because I craft in the loft, it's very difficult just to go down and replace it, because I have to be locked up here as well, so that the cat doesn't come. But I'm in the process of being moved into the shed, but in order to do that I have to sell all the de-stash stuff. So, but we're doing well with the de-stash. I think we're up to like £600 and something for the Highland Hospice, so thank you all for your support with that. That's going well. And I might temporarily move myself into the spare room, because I'm also going to be looking at doing Zoom craft classes and things, so I'm having to work that out. So that is my first one. Okay, let's see if we can just quickly put something together with this one, just to match. So yeah, we've got these little bits and pieces that can be used there. Okay, and then have we got a little, what's on the other side of this? I'm just trying to think. I'll do a similar one, but just not as big and fancy. Okay. So very similar idea, but just not quite the same. Make it a wee bit different. I'm trying to work out what Dawn will have drawn. I reckon either a flower, I reckon she'll have gone for flowers, or cogs. Possibly a clock, I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm thinking a flower. Now I've just realised that's not going to face that way, isn't it? So that's fine, we'll just put it this side. Okay, so we need to get a bit of colour into that one as well, quite a lot of colour on this one I think, because it's ended up quite plain looking. So that's the only thing when you draw on the back, it will be the reverse side to what you'd originally drawn. I mean, you can just cut it out as is, but I just find it's easier for me to feel like I can correct it and not worry too much. So I'm going to draw that in. Do some little squiggly bits because, as I said, it hides a multitude of sins. And then we'll get a little bit of paint into this, so very similar to what I did before. Just going to add a little bit of colour. Now I've used a different pen, so this is probably going to run a little bit, so I don't want to get too carried away. This pen doesn't run if you wait for it to dry properly, but you know, that would require patience. So it's not really likely to happen. So what I'm going to do with this one is I think I'll put in a little bit of colour like this, and then I'm just going to edge it with my blending brush. So I've just added a little bit of colour like so. I'll give it a slightly different look, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit on my little makeup brush thing. I think these are great, especially these little mini ones. They're really handy for doing slightly smaller work. Now I just want to correct this a little bit. It's kind of gone lower than I expected. There we go. So now we've got this. Oh, look! That's so cute! That is just too cute for words. Okay, so let's do the same with this. And with this one I might actually just draw some dots in rather than cut some out. So we've got that one, and a nice skin piece here. I'm trying not to cut into another sheet. What I think I will do with this one is just, because we've got that green up here but it's not anywhere else in the piece, so I think I will grab my peacock feathers and another blending brush. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have another colour on it. So that's maybe a bit too intense. That's a bit too intense, never mind. Right. I'll just stick with this one. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's glue those down. She says, oh yep, it's coming. The glue is coming. Whoop. Okay. Oh, I need to edge it in black. These are such pretty gifts as well. I do find like notepads, they're really cheap and cheerful. You can buy packets of them really cheaply. And, you know, a little bit of designer paper, a little bit playing around, and then you've got an absolute stunning gift. And who here spends, I mean, lots of money on a notepad? I know I have. I always want to buy the pretty ones, and the more expensive ones, just because they're pretty. And it's like, this is one of a kind. You know, you give this to somebody, they're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. And so if you know somebody that loves their stationery, because there's lots of people out there that love their stationery, even people that aren't crafters, you know, they just like to buy pretty notebooks and things, that this sort of idea makes a great little gift. Okay. So we will do that, chop that down nice and even. Right, and then I'm going to grab my paintbrush again and get some more of this, pink. Oh, so glad when this squeaky chair is a thing of the past. Right, I'm just going to actually paint my circles in. So I'm going to this time just grab some of that distress ink, and let's just add some pink circles and polka dots to this paper. Actually, I'm going to put it all over, and then we'll pick some of them to draw around, because I think it just ties in this bit at the top, because that's quite bright, and then the paper is quite muted. So I think now if you're adding polka dots, really good tip to make it look like part of the paper is to make sure you've got some that sort of overhang the edge, so you've got like half circles. If you always put some of those in, it's amazing the difference that can make. Okay. Oops. So I'm just, as I said, making sure that I've got some that are like a half circle at the side, and I'm just very roughly adding a load of circles to this, and I think that has just really lifted it off the page a little bit. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to grab my pen. I'm just going to take a couple of these, not all of them, because I want to leave some that are sort of more subtle. I might actually just draw some little dots of my own. It's amazing having a few little dots around a hand drawing that it suddenly looks really, really arty. And so if there's any parts that you think you've made a mess of, and I think that's where scribbly lines come into their own as well. It makes such a difference. It just makes it look like, yeah, that was meant to be, rather than, oops, I made a mistake there. Okay, and again I'm just going to add a stitched detail in the various elements. So I'm hoping the fact that I've done two makes up for the fact that I went for a smaller notepad to decorate, but I just thought with it being 6x6 papers, I kind of didn't really want to be patching, although I kind of have done a bit of a patch effect, but yeah, I kind of want to be in control of the patching rather than necessity because my notepad was too big. Right, so again I'm going to do the zigzag thing here, so I'm also going to have to do either a little bit of extra doodling or place a sticker in the appropriate place, because I've got a little bit of a mark there. So doing my zigzag. Thankfully, because there was doodling and hand-drawn images in this challenge, it does mean that I've had my black pen, which has been wonderful, because, I think if you've got very limited supplies, having a black pen and the ability to doodle makes the world of difference. You can just lift the project. You can just add the extra detail that you maybe would have done with a stamp or a die or something like that. So having the ability to do that for yourself makes such a difference. So I am dead pleased with that. I'm also fairly pleased because it's still only 10:15 in the morning, so it should mean that I will have this all produced and uploaded in time for 4 o'clock without too much drama. Because when you're a last minute Annie like myself, things like internet going round or technical issues can be a bit of a pain in the bum. Right. There we go, sweet life. Right, and again I'm going to just grab this gesso. Gesso. Why I'm singing, I don't know, but I am. Right. Just going to take a bit of activating. There we go. Just add a bit more to my palette. That might help. Smudge it down. This is because it's this nice thick stuff from 13 Arts, but it does mean it's a bit more opaque than some of the others, which when I'm wanting splashes is quite handy. And I'm just going to turn it so that my splashes look a bit more random because they're not all going in one direction. But I am going to just pick up a bit and actually draw a splash just there to cover that black mark. Oh yeah, random splashing, but one deliberately placed. Okay, I'll just tidy up. Okay, so those are my two little notepads here from the Dawn and Julia Create Challenge. It was Dawn that challenged us this month. Don't forget that we will be back on the second Saturday at 6 o'clock, so we are mixing up a little bit. And please do go and check out what Dawn is doing. I know that I will be there bang on 4 o'clock to find out what she's been up to, so please do pop over and see her as well. So once again, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'll be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.